Hi, my name is Paula Alapisco, and I'll be telling the story called Jogging the Bases. Before I get started, I want to share a little bit of background to this story. My dad used to play professional baseball in Mexico, so I obviously grew up loving the sport. He would always tell me stories about playing the game, but he had this certain way of describing it as a sort of art form. Everything had to line up perfectly in order for you to have success. He had this phrase that he would always refer back to when playing. When you would run the bases, you always had to give a full force effort. You had to run as fast as you can. But he said that there was this feeling, that compared to nothing else. That feeling when you could actually jog those bases. And for someone who has asthma, that sounded pretty good to me. There I was, chomping down on my banana before our fourth and final game of the night. I threw an ibuprofen in the air, caught it in my mouth, and washed it down with my giant gallon jug. But I prayed that the pill didn't have to do its job. I prayed that the pain wouldn't come back. I knew I would have to pitch this game just like I had all the others. And in my mind, I was ready to do so. But my body was starting to give in a little. You see, this was my first tournament back from taking a couple months off due to a back injury. And I didn't want any excuse to keep me from playing the game I love so much anymore. So I sat down next to my teammates and pretended as if nothing was wrong. We sat and argued whether they would cancel the game or not. I thought back to earlier that day when the downpour of rain delayed the entire tournament. The water seeped through the dirt and caused its euphoric scent to emanate all throughout. I honestly could have sat and smelled that all day long. But every rose has its thorn. Now, our game was pushed to 10 p.m., and we were all exhausted and just wanted to go home to rest up for the 4 other games we had the following day. We were all caught off guard when our coach told us to get on the field and prepare for yet another battle. We fought till the final inning. We were down 3 runs, and it was up to me to turn things around. This pitcher had struck me out my last 2 at-bats because of that stupid rise ball of hers. And I was hoping that the 3rd time was the charm. So I went up to bat, and I did my normal routine as per usual. Pull up right pant leg, pull up left pant leg, dig right foot into the batter's box, dig left foot into the batter's box. Then I would point my bat to the outfield. I had to do this every single time. She threw the pitch, and I kept telling myself, don't swing at the rise. Don't swing at the rise. Can you guys guess what I did? I swung at the rise. Strike 1. Okay, here we go again. She started her windup once more. Curve, outside, ball. Okay. I stepped back to reset myself. And in the background, I could hear my teammates cheering for me. Their echoing voices casting itself throughout the entire field complex. But as soon as I stepped back into the batter's box, I completely tuned them out. It was just me and the pitcher. She threw the pitch. Rise, high. Ha, thought she'd get me again. The count was now 2 balls, 1 strike. Each pitch like a small battle. It is these moments where I take myself out of the game and I start to look at it as an art form, just as my dad does. A hitter has about half a second of reaction time to decide whether or not they're even going to swing at the ball. They have half a second to look at the rotation of the ball and give their best prediction to where it may land. The pitcher then threw 1 more pitch, and in this moment, the world just slowed down. And half a second felt more like a minute. I could perfectly see this fastball as it cut through the air and headed towards the middle third of the plate. This was the one. I swung my bat and felt absolutely nothing. The ball hit it at the sweet spot where their opposing vibrations balance each other out. I saw the ball as it traveled higher and higher, farther and farther. But it wasn't over just yet. The only thing that stood in my way was the center fielder. They kept running and running closer to the fence until I finally saw the ball drop on the other side. This is when I knew I had done it. I punched my fist in the air because I never thought I would get to feel this ever in my life. My heart kept pounding and pounding because it was finally my chance to jog those bases, just like my dad had always said. With every stride, I began to take everything in. I saw my teammates going insane in the dugout. I saw my dad in the stands with a proud smile on his face. And everything just felt right. This was my moment to treasure and to keep with me forever. Thank you.